Hi, Jamie Dockery with the UK Extension Service, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about ferns. In spring, we all get really carried away buying beautiful flowers for our outdoor planters, which is absolutely great. However, for many of those shady spots, ferns and other foliage plants might be a more practical alternative. And I honestly believe there's a little bit of a stigma out there about ferns and houseplants that somehow they are higher ranking than flowers. Let me tell you folks, same money as a geranium, just as easy to look away while it dies in the fall. So these don't have to come in. You can simply use them for the season and walk away. I want to talk a little bit about fern care in general because they're wonderful added to impatiens, begonias, other shade plants for some contrast and texture, but they're very easy to grow. Just as similarly as you would put them in a mixed planter, you can just pot up a nice pot or basket of fern and let it become its own kind of specimen. So ferns in general are shade loving, or they like bright but not direct light. So they're generally going to be in shadier areas, or morning sun would be acceptable. And they tend to like high humidity. Newsflash, we have all those conditions in central Kentucky automatically outdoors, and we don't have to do anything. But ferns are really well adapted to our heat and humidity here, provided they're not in the sun. I just want to talk about the fern kingdom is so varied. There are so many wonderful, exciting ones. I kind of collect them myself. But I wanted to talk just a little bit about some of my favorites and the ones that maybe are a little bit easier to grow or less challenging. And I'm going to start right here with something that is not even a fern. This is actually in the asparagus family, but we call them asparagus ferns. Now this is an exception because the asparagus ferns, because they're not true ferns, can handle a little more sunlight, and they might be a little more tolerant of light than some of these other true ferns. This one is great. You get this lovely ferny foliage, extremely soft textured, and as it grows through the summer, it's normal for this plant to start to produce vines that will climb around wires and travel upwards, and that's kind of interesting too, but if that's not the look you want, snip them off. Another favorite, kangaroo paw fern. Green, glossy leaves. It will eventually develop little rhizomes or feet, kind of like the rabbit's foot fern, and this one's tough as nails. This one I do bring in over the winter, and it is a very accommodating house plant. Another one that is similar is this blue star fern. It's actually a phlebodium. There's many different fern species. This one gets quite large, up to 2 feet, and it can be impressive. You can also stick these in a landscape bed around trees and things, and as long as you keep them watered, they'll do great. One I would never want to be without, southern maidenhair. This beautiful little thing, easy to grow. It does not like to get bone dry. Other than that, it's no brainer, and it just continues to cascade and grow more and more of this delicate foliage all summer long. It'll make a huge specimen. Most of these will. And finally, the little rabbit's foot. So much fun because of all of these little feet that climb down your pot. This looks great in a hanging basket or up some way where you can really see those hairy tarantula-like legs. Tough as nails. It looks delicate. It's not. Again, doesn't like to get bone dry. A great one for your garden and planters. So just a little bit about ferns. Like anything else, you're going to fertilize about once a month through the summer. That can be any form of balanced fertilizer you want. Our potting soils typically don't have a lot of fertilizer, so whether you use a scoop of the blue stuff in some water or you use those little granules that feed all season, there's a variety of ways to do it, and there are many others, but super easy. Ferns are great. Give these a thought along with your typical flowers and your planters this summer. I think you'll be pleased you did.